What is going on, guys? Welcome back, and in this video we're going over the Warmaiden. Yes, that's right, another common character. This is going to be episode 2 of our super simple starter champ series. If you've seen episode 1, checked out Kale already, that is why you're here. If you haven't seen that one, why did you start with 2? I don't get it. But anyway, we're talking about the Warmaiden today. She's from the Barbarian faction. This is going to be a very restart friendly character, a very free to play friendly character as well, because how do you get the Warmaiden? Do you need to pull her? No, you can farm Warmaiden from campaign chapter 9, the Deadlands, stage 9-3. You can get this between, 10, 50 runs or so, and you can use your Kale to farm her up. You can get extras for upgrades from there as well. The easiest thing for you to do is support the channel by checking out the link in the description below. You're gonna get a free legendary champion as well as up to $200 worth of free goodies. And don't forget, up to 3 awesome epics as you level up inside of Raid. And be sure to use the code Desert Queen to get access to your new free legendary champion in the form of Tahana Rock. As always, this helps the channel out so much, guys, so be sure to check that description down in the link below and join me in Raid today. So what is the Warmaiden going to be doing for you? Now, she is going to make your team hit way harder, and she's going to be a nice component for a strong, free-to-play, beginner-friendly team. Warmaiden's going to be a defense breaker. She has multiple ways of decreasing defense, which is going to be a bad effect on enemies. That's going to boost the damage that your team does. And she can do this to all enemies with Crumbling Blast, her A3, which even at level 1 unleveled, 75% chance to put a 60% defense break on them for 2 turns. And defense down is one of the best ways to boost your damage early on or even later on in a game like Raid. If you pair her up with someone like Kale, you're going to be shredding enemies and bosses even more effectively than you could before. You will notice that unlike someone like Kale, she doesn't have a passive or a benefit, but her 3 skills are so strong, she doesn't really even need one. Now, her filler skill is going to be Ferocious Attack, and this is also going to help you supplement your team's damage because, well, she's an attack-based damage dealer. And just like Kale, we see the return of Poison. Now, this has a much lower chance than someone like Kale has to apply poison. Hers is only a 30% chance to put a poison debuff on an enemy, but if it happens, if it sticks, we're happy there. Outside of that, this is your filler skill. You're going to be using this quite a few times on her, and it's just going to be doing a little bit of damage, and hopefully you'll land some poisons with her on your enemies. Now, we also have A2, which is Opportunity Strike. Opportunity Strike attacks a single enemy, and it puts an attack buff on Warmaiden as well. If you happen to do a critical strike with Opportunity Strike, it will do another attack for some free damage, although the second follow-up can't be a crit. However, it is still free damage, and critting in general just boosts your damage in the first place. So this is a very nice self-sufficient A2, increasing the damage overall of your team by buffing the damage that the Warmaiden does. We already talked about the A3 a little bit going through the preview here. This is her bread and butter. Putting defense down on something early on from an easily farmable champion like the Warmaiden is going to help you farm content, whether it's campaign, which she's excellent in as well for this reason, as you're able to put the defense break on. Use someone like Kale, we talked about in episode 1, who's got an AoE, defense break them all, take them all out with the AoE, move on to the next wave. We like that there. You can also use her in clan bosses. She's got the defense break and she's got the poison to help you get some big damage boosts there, as well as in dungeons against the Fire Knight, against the Dragon, against the Spider, anything that's got a mix of single target as well as AoE. She is helpful there, especially if they have one big boss with a little bit of ads. That defense break is AoE, helps you clean those ads out, helps Kale do that, and then leaves the defense break on the boss for the rest of the team to just pummel that guy into the ground. You can also use her in PvP early on, as you're able to just put that defense break on and then nuke them into the ground. Now, the Warmaiden's role in your party, you might have figured this out already. She's more of a support than she is like a full-on damage dealer, so keep her as that role in your mind. She's there as like a damage amplifier with a little bit of damage of her own. Her main thing is that defense break. So you're going to pair her with a damage dealer, maybe another healer, support of some kind, and then a tank to make sure your team is just well put together. It's that generic fantasy RPG team once again. When it comes to focusing on skills, which ones should you go for first? Which ones can you pass on? The most important one by far is Crumbling Blast. You want the minus cooldown on this. This goes down to a 3-turn cooldown with a 2-turn defense break, and the defense break goes from 75% all the way up to the nice number of 100% chance to put that AoE defense down on, and it lasts for 2 turns. So she has nearly 100% uptime on her most important skill. And with this leveled up, it is the real reason why I'm making a video about her, because she's just very easy to gain access to. And this skill alone is enough to put her on top of the map. After you max this one out, if you want to work on the ferocious attack or the opportunity strike, you can do so at your own leisure. Although you could probably work on other characters from, you know, this is episode 3, episode 4, episode 5 that are coming out in the future. Instead, this will help her do more damage if you put a little love and levels into her A2 and into her A1, but really it's all about that A3. Now, when building the Warmaiden, what is it that we want to focus on? And this is just mainly going to be speed. We want her to go before basically any of our damage dealers do in our team. So aim for 4 to 6 pieces of some sort of speed set. You could also do 4 pieces of speed and like 2 pieces of an accuracy set, as it's going to help her stick both her defense break as well as the poisons on her S1. For gloves, you can wear a crit rate here. If you get a big crit, you're going to do a little bit of bonus damage, especially if you have opportunity strikes, that follow-up attack. Even though it can't crit, you'll get an automatic follow-up attack if you crit the first attack. So crit rate here is pretty nice to help, you know, facilitate her secondary role as like a sub DPS in a lot of circumstances. Chest, you can go for attack percent to lean into that sub DPS role, or if you just want her to be a little bit more survival for your team, whether you're doing PvP or you don't want her to get knocked out, KO'd, killed in harder boss encounters or guild encounters, you can go for an HP percent chest. Boots, 1,000% speed. Remember, we want to go before every other single DPS on our team. Early on, you want to aim for like, you know, 180 speed or so. That'll probably get you up over where most of your DPS will randomly be around the 160 range or so, like we talked about in the first video with Kale. Other slots, you can aim for accuracy, so you can land debuffs on bosses. Try to get at least to like 150, but if you get to 200, you'll be set and ready to rock and roll for so many encounters in raid, and you'll bring the Warmaiden to your party every single time for that powerful defense break. At the end of the day, the Warmaiden is going to be your team's supercharger. Defense break is just so powerful. Yes, her A1 and her A2 look a little lackluster, but the A3 alone will carry your team to victory 1,000%. If you got questions or comments, drop them down below in the description. And speaking of the description, make sure you check out my link below so you can check out Raid with me, and also stay tuned for episode 3 featuring my very favorite character, the Apothecary. Until then, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.